Imagine owning the most recognizable character on Earth, but having no money to buy bread. In 1923, Walt Disney arrived in California with $40 in his pocket and a suitcase full of failed dreams. Most people think Disney was an overnight success, but the truth is much darker. Walt's first studio went bankrupt. His first big star was stolen by a shady distributor. And his own staff, people he considered family, turned their backs on him when he needed them most. This isn't a fairy tale. This is a story about a man who used his failures as bricks to build a kingdom that now owns your childhood, your movies, and your imagination. This is the deep dive into the Disney Empire. In 1927, Walt had finally made it. His character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, was a sensation. Walt felt like a king. But behind the scenes, a shark named Charles Mintz was circling. When Walt went to New York to ask for a bigger budget, Mintz dropped a bomb. "I've signed your animators to secret contracts. I own the rights to Oswald. You have two choices. Work for me for less money, or you're fired from your own creation." Walt was devastated. He walked out of that office with nothing. On the 3-day train ride back to Los Angeles, he couldn't even tell his wife the truth. He sat in the observation car, sketching in a notebook. He knew he needed a replacement. He started with a rabbit, then a dog, and finally, a mouse named Mortimer. His wife, Lillian, hated the name. "Call him Mickey," she said. And that name change changed history. But having a character wasn't enough. Walt knew he had to do something no one else was doing. In 1928, movies were silent. Walt decided that Mickey Mouse would speak. He spent every penny he had on Steamboat Willie. He was so obsessed with the sound being perfect that he sold his own car just to pay for the recording sessions. When the film premiered in New York, the audience was stunned. The mouse wasn't just moving, he was alive. Mickey became a global icon faster than any human actor. By 1930, there were Mickey Mouse clubs all over the world. But Walt wasn't satisfied. He realized that shorts wouldn't build an empire. He needed a feature film. The industry called it Disney's Folly. A feature-length cartoon? People said it would hurt the eyes of the audience. Walt's brother Roy, who handled the money, was terrified. The budget ballooned from $250,000 to an unheard of $1.5 million. Walt had to show raw, unfinished footage to bank lenders just to get more loans to finish the movie. He was literally betting the entire company on a girl and 7 dwarfs. When Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs premiered in 1937, the elite of Hollywood, Clark Gable, Judy Garland, gave it a standing ovation. It earned $8 million in its first release. To put that in perspective, that's about $150 million today. Walt used that money to build a brand new studio in Burbank. He was no longer just a cartoonist. He was a mogul. By the 1950s, Walt had a new obsession. He was tired of dirty, cramped carnivals. He wanted a magic kingdom. But his brother Roy and every banker in America refused to fund it. "A theme park is too risky," they said. So Walt did something radical. He started a separate company, WED Enterprises, using his own life insurance policy as collateral. He then made a deal with ABC. He would produce a weekly TV show for them if they helped fund his park. The construction was a nightmare. He bought 160 acres of orange groves in Anaheim. He was there every day, sometimes sleeping in a secret apartment above the fire station on Main Street. On opening day in 1955, Everything went wrong. The plumbing failed, the food ran out, and it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Critics called it a disaster. But within 7 weeks, 1 million people had visited. Walt had created the first physical social network. After Walt died in 1966, the company lost its way for a while. But in the 2000s, Disney changed its strategy. They realized they didn't just need to create characters, they needed to own the ones people already loved. In a series of moves that shocked the financial world, Disney bought Pixar for $7.4 billion, Marvel for $4 billion in 2009, Lucasfilm, Star Wars for $4 billion in 2012, 20th Century Fox for $71 billion in 2019. Today, Disney isn't just a movie studio, it's a flywheel. The movie sells the toy leads you to the theme park makes you subscribe to Disney Plus, and the cycle repeats. Every 24 hours, Disney earns over $200 million. Walt Disney's greatest legacy isn't a mouse or a castle. It's the idea that your past failures are just research for your future success. He was fired, he was cheated, and he was laughed at, but he never stopped drawing. So here's a challenge for you. What's the Oswald in your life right now? What failure are you going to turn into your Mickey Mouse? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing your stories of resilience. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the house that Walt built, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. And if you want to know how Nintendo started with the Yakuza or how Red Bull became a media giant, check out the videos on the screen. Thanks for watching. And remember, it all started with a mouse.